fuel injection systems. So what is the main function of any fuel injection system? It should supply the right quantity of the fuel at the correct time. That is the main function of any fuel injection system. That may be SI engine fuel or CI engine fuel. Okay, right. So here first the functions of fuel injection system are it should filter the fuel and it should measure the correct quantity of the fuel to be injected at the time of the injection, right now. So at what time means at the end of the compression stroke. At the end of the compression stroke, the fuel needs to be supplied by using fuel atomizer or injector. Okay, so that will be taken care by the your fuel ignition injection system. Okay, and it's also controls the rate of fuel injection. Depends upon the speeds and loads of the engine, we need to supply the fuel. The same quantity of fuel will not work out for all the conditions. Okay, so the fuel supply will be varied according to the speed and load of the engine, and it should atomize the fuel. It should supply with fine spray so that the mixing will be easy, the mixing will be faster, so that the combustion will take place in no time. Okay, and it should distribute the fuel in the combustion chamber. Anyhow, we are using the fuel injector, so therefore it will inject in the form of fine spray. Okay, it always mix thoroughly with the air present inside the engine cylinder. Okay, and we have two types of injection system: air injection system and airless injection system. Right. So in air injection system, the fuel injection, in the method of this fuel injection, air is compressed in the compressor to high pressure and injected into the fuel nozzle. The rate of fuel admission can be controlled by varying the pressure of the injection pressure. So here in this air system, the air is compressed in the some other different compressor. We need to use a dedicated compressor for that, and that high pressure air is injected into the fuel nozzle. Okay, right. So the advantage is it pressure, because if the air pressure is high, the atomization will be faster. Okay, it provides the better atomization and distribution of the fuel, and as the combustion is more complete, means the combustion will take place with less time. It will be rapid combustion, it will take place at faster. Therefore the mean effective pressure, BME, means brake mean effective pressure, the pressure developed within the engine cylinder. Okay, so this pressure will be higher. If the brake mean effective pressure is higher, the piston will be pushed downwards with that force, therefore you will get more amount of the power. Okay, and if the fuels are having less quality, inferior fuels can also be used in case of air injection system. The disadvantage is it requires dedicated compressor for compressing the air, right? And in order to operate the nozzle, right, we required a separate mechanical linkage to operate the fuel well. I'll show you how what is that one in the next coming slides. And due to the compression and linkage, the size of the engine will be big. Okay, so because if we have 4 cylinders, we required 4 mechanical linkages to operate the fuel valve. Okay, and since the fuel burns very nearer to the nozzle, and the nozzle, there may be chances of overheating of the nozzle. So these are the drawback of air injection system. Okay, and the modern fuel injection systems nowadays, we can see CRDI, right, common rail injection system. And so it means it depends upon the working will be same. It depends upon the what we call the manufacturer. If you go for Maruti, what will be written in diesel engines? DDIS, right now. The working will be same, any engine. So he will write DDIS. If you go for some Chevrolet, he will write TDI. And if you go for Ford, he may write TCDI. And if you go for Mahindra, he will write CRDE or CRDI. Even Hyundai also, right now. So they will write different terminology. Do you know who is the supplier for diesel engines of Maruti vehicle? Who will supply diesel
Fiat.
engines? No, Fiat. Very good, right? But Fiat is failed one, right? The Fiat company is failed, but the Maruti, there all the engines are supplied by Fiat. All the diesel engines are supplied by the Fiat to the Maruti, but these engines have high, what we call, demand. But if you go for Fiat, we can see very less number of cars on the roads, right? So because our human mentality is like that, right? So the same way here, but the Fiat engine and Swift engine are same. because the engines supplied by the Fiat will be used by the Maruti persons. Okay, right? Right. Common rail injection system, and second one will be individual pump injection system. Means we will use separate pump for different cylinders, and distributor system. So these are the three types of the injections. We will see one by one. Right. In case of common rail injection system, there will be one header. From there, the fuel will be supplied to the different cylinders. You can see. So this is the fuel pump. Okay, so the fuel from the pump tank is coming here, and this fuel pump will supply the fuel, nothing but diesel, to one common header, right? We can call it as common rail, right? And from here the fuel will be supplied to the number of, how many number of cylinders here we have? 1 2 3 4, right? And this is the fuel injector or atomizer, and I told that we need to use mechanically actuated spray valve to operate the valve. Like this system should be there for all the n number of cylinders are there, right? If you have 4 cylinders like this, we should have 4 number of linkages. Okay, so these linkages are also operated by camshaft, because we need to inject this diesel fuel at the end of the compression stroke. That will be taken care by the camshaft. Means all these 4 mechanical valve operated valves are operated by camshaft only. This is the common rail. Only one from one place the fuel will be supplied through the connectors. Okay, so this is the common rail system, right? Now, this is used in all diesel engines. The main disadvantage is, so each fuel injector or atomizer should be operated by the mechanically actuated spray valve. Because of that, the engine size will be bigger. If you see the any car, if you take Swift only, you take, if you take VXI and VDI, let us say VXI means it is the petrol engine, VDI indicates that it is the diesel engine, right? If you open the front portion, that is the bonnet, if you see the size of the engine, the petrol engine will be very small. You can find so much of space in that. But in case of diesel engine, it will be very bulky. You can't find even small space over there, right? Even the, right. So that is the main drawback of the diesel engine. Because of bigger size, it will be bulky. Compared to petrol engine, the diesel engines are bulky, right? And apart from that, the compression ratio is high in case of diesel engine. As we know, compression ratio is equals to volume at the start of the compression, right? Now, volume at the start of the compression by volume at the end of the compression, nothing but total volume to the clearance volume, right? So in order, if the compression ratio is high, we need to compress it to more. In order to do that, what will happen? The size of the cylinder will be bigger. Once the size of the cylinder is bigger, the flywheel, because of the vibrations, right? Now, so the balancing is the main problem. Therefore, flywheel size is bigger for diesel engine as compared to the petrol engine, and we can find little bit vibrations also in diesel engine because of more compression ratio, right? Nowadays all the diesel engines are refined. If you go for some 10 years before the diesel engines, you can feel the vibrations even inside the cabin also. If you touch the gear knob or steering or dashboard, they used to vibrate because of the more compression ratio, right? So here a single pump supplies the high pressure fuel to the header, and a relief valve holds the pressure constant at the required level, and the control wedge adjusts the lift of mechanically operated valve to set amount and time of the injection. This mechanical operated valve will take care by how much amount of fuel needs to be admitted and at what time, because this mechanically operated valve is operated by camshaft. Okay, and the advantage is it is simple and less maintenance cost, and only one pump is sufficient for, even it is a multi-cylinder engine, right? It fulfills the requirement of either constant load with variable speed or variable load with constant, means all the requirements we can say, right? So in practice, what will happen? Load may be varied or speed may be varied, right? Now these are the two conditions, right? Different loads and different speeds it can operate, and variation in pump supply pressure affects all the cylinders equally. If you change the pressure, with that pressure only, all the cylinders, all the fuel injectors will work. Okay, the disadvantage is, right? So leaks in the injection valve, right? So that is the one disadvantage. There may be chances of leaking the diesel fuel at the injection valve, and accurate design is required. These are the two disadvantages. Okay, and in case of second case, first one is the common rail. In common rail, we have only one pump, but here in second case, we have individual pump injection system. Means, let us say if we have 4 number of cylinders and 4 different pumps are used to inject the fuel, right? Now, so you can see here, this is the shaft, okay, pump shaft, and this is a fuel tank, right? From this, we can see pump with an individual cylinder for each nozzle, okay, right? Like that, you can see one pump, second pump, third. We have 4 different types of pumps. It will pumps the high pressure diesel into the this is the fuel nozzle or atomizer or injector, right? Atomizer or fuel injector, or we can in normal normal we can call it as nozzle, right? But technical term it may be fuel atomizer or fuel injector. Okay, right? 4 different pumps are operating, right? And 4 different lines will be connected to the again these valves. Okay, these things are also operated by mechanically operated valve with help of cam mechanism, because the cam is the only thing which knows at what time the fuel needs to be injected, because we will design the camshaft in such a way that at what position, means in which cylinder the fuel needs to be injected. Again, that will be according to the firing order. According to firing order, the fuel needs to be admitted into the engine cylinder at the end of the compression stroke. According to the firing order, they will design the camshaft. Okay, so start and stop of the fuel injection will be taken care by the camshaft. The thing is, here we are using different pumps. Earlier case only one pump, and from one pump there will be a common rail. From that common rail the fuel will be supplied. But whereas in case of an individual pump, right, each pump for each cylinder will be used. Okay, in this system an individual pump or pump cylinder connects directly to the fuel nozzle. Pump meters the charge and control the injection timing. Nozzle contains a delivery valve actuated by fuel oil pressure. Okay, right. The disadvantage is the system has to be designed accurately to pump small quantity of fuel, because we are using n number of pumps for n number of cylinder, right? So for small speed, if you want to admit small quantity of fuel, okay, we need to design accurately. And last one, distributor system. Third one is the distributor system. Here we have a common distributor. We have a common distributor. From the distributor, the fuel will be supplied to each cylinder. Okay, even you can see this is the crankshaft gear and this is the camshaft gear. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, right? So this camshaft, when this actuate pump, sorry, whenever this camshaft engages in that cylinder, the fuel will be injected. That linkage will be there, right? So 4 cams are operated, right, by 4 cylinders. Okay, and if you see, this is the cam, again control rod. Again, these fuel pumps are also operated by some of the fuel. Most of the time, it will take the power from the battery only. Okay, sometimes anyhow fuel pumps are located within the fuel tank, so it will be operated by battery only. This is the primary pump. We have 2 pumps over here. This is the primary pump, and the second one is the metering and pressure pump. Okay, so from the main primary pump, the fuel will be supplied to the second pump, and from the second pump, we will supply the fuel to the distributor block. From the distributor block, the fuel will be supplied to the each cylinder according to the speeds and loads. Okay, and according to the timing of the firing also. Okay, according to the order of firing. This is the distributor system. In this system, the fuel metered at a central point. It is also similar to common rail only. Yes or no, right? So, but the only thing is there we are using one pump, but here we are using 2 pumps. Okay, so second pump is used to increase the pressure. Second pump is used to increase the pressure. A pump pressurizes, meters the fuel and times the injection. From here, the fuel is distributed to cylinders in the correct firing order by cam operated poppet valves, which open to admit the fuel to the nozzles. Okay, so this is about the modern ignition common rail, right? Second one is the individual pump. Third one is the distributor system. Right, very important thing, that is the fuel pump. Okay, how the fuel pump will be operated, right? If you see, the main parts are, this is the rack and pinion arrangement. You can see rack over here and you have pinion, right? So rack will have reciprocating motion and the pinion will have rotary motion, rack and pinion. Okay, and you have a plunger over here, and we have spill port and supply port. From the supply port, the fuel, nothing but diesel, will be admitted inside the fuel pump. And we can see this is the barrel. This rectangular one is the barrel, and here this plunger will be having helical groove. Okay, so it has helical groove inside the plunger. Okay, and rectangular groove also helical. So it has rectangular vertical groove which extends from top to bottom. And you can see one valve over here. This is the delivery valve. It is in closed position by use of this spring force. By use of this spring force. Whenever the, now let me complete all the parts. And this is the passage. From here, the fuel will be supplied to the injector or atomizer or nozzle. The fuel will be supplied to the fuel. This is the inlet. This is the inlet to the fuel pump, and this is the outlet from the fuel pump. Okay, the main parts are rack and pinion, plunger, and spill port and supply port, and barrel and delivery valve, and this is the spring, and this is the passage to the fuel injector. So are the parts are clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now we will see how the fuel pump will work. Okay, because in diesel engine we are not mixing the diesel with the air, right? So during the suction stroke, only air will be admitted into the engine cylinder, and the same will be compressed during the compression stroke. And at the end of the compression, we are injecting the diesel. We are injecting the diesel with help of fuel injector or atomizer, right? So for that reason, in order to supply the diesel to the atomizer at the required pressure, right now, right, we need to supply at the required pressure, then only the atomizer can supply the diesel, right? So in order to build up the pressure, we are using fuel pump. Generally this fuel pump is located inside the fuel tank. Okay, right now, so it is the important part of the fuel injection system in automobile. Okay, so this fuel injection pump is used in individual pump system of a solid injection system, right now. So wherever individual pump we are using, there we are using the fuel injection pump. It consists of a plunger. It consists of a plunger, and it is driven by cam and poppet, right? It is driven by, it is not shown here. It is driven by cam and tappet mechanism at the bottom side. Okay, so because all the fuel pumps, any inject ignition system, right, all are operated. That is the reason I told from starting onwards, cam plays, the operation of cam plays a major role in the working of IC engine. Right now we don't know much about the cam, but this camshaft plays a major role. As we know, the speed of the cam will be half of the crank. Okay, so it is taken care by every operation: valve opening, valve closing, spark injection, fuel injection. Okay, when fuel injection has to start, when it should stop, how much amount of fuel, right? So that everything will be taken care by the camshaft only. Okay, so it consists of a plunger. Okay, and this is driven by the cam and tappet at the bottom. Okay, and the plunger reciprocal, as we know, this is the piston cylinder. Like the plunger is nothing but piston only, and the extra thing is over here, it has a rectangular vertical groove from top to bottom, rectangular and vertical helical groove. Okay, and the plunger reciprocates inside the boiler, sorry, barrel, and the number of plungers depends upon number of cylinders. Okay, now, right? So one cylinder is there, one plunger. If four cylinders are there, like that, we have four plungers will be there. Okay, and the plunger has a reciprocating vertical groove which extends from top to bottom. Okay, check top to bottom, and bottom we have another helical groove. You can see another helical, a rectangular helical groove which extends from top to bottom to another helical groove. Okay, and the delivery valve, this is the delivery valve. This can be lifted from its position, from its seat, under the pressure of diesel. If pressure here, if the pressure developed inside this what is called barrel, if the pressure developed inside the barrel is up to the required position, is in a position to overcome the compression, if the overcome the force exerted by the spring, at that time what will happen? This valve will be lifted from its seat. Okay, and the passage and what will happen? And the diesel will be injected from the passage and through the atomizer. Okay, when the plunger is at the bottom, if you see, when the plunger is at the bottom, now at this instant of time, is the supply port is covered or uncovered? When the plunger is at this instant, is this supply port is open or closed? That's what I'm asking. Covered or uncovered? Covered means closed position, because whenever port is there, we need to call it as covered or uncovered. Whenever valve is there, whether it is opened or closed. Okay, for the ports, it should be covered or uncovered. Uncovered is the open position, covered is the closed position. Tell me, at this instant, this port is open or closed? Students?
Open.
Open. And what about the spill port? What about this spill port? It is also opened. Agree? Both supply port and spill ports are opened. Okay, right. So here, when the plunger is at the bottom, supply port and spill port both are uncovered. Therefore, what will happen? The fuel from the feed pump or tank, right, after filtration is forced into the barrel. Now, so now because the plunger is uncovered, the fuel from the fuel tank through the feed pump will be supplied to the barrel by filtration, right? Now, next, what will happen? Now the plunger, how the plunger is operating? Tell me, how the plunger is moving up and down?
With the help of springs.
No. Plunger is operated by cam again. Okay, now. Okay, plunger is operating. So this plunger is having reciprocating motion as well as rotary motion also. You can see the rotary motion is given to the plunger with help of this rack and pinion arrangement. I will show you some small video after this one. Okay, right. Now when the plunger is moving upward direction, what will happen? It covers supply port as well as the spill port. Agree? Like if you remember two-stroke port timing working of two-stroke engine, when the piston is moving upward direction, what will happen? It will covers transfer port and exhaust port in the same way, but here
Yes.
both are located at the same level. Therefore, when the piston, sorry,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, when the piston is moving upward direction, I can say piston or plunger. Okay, when the plunger is moving upward direction, it covers supply port as well as the spill port. What will happen? Due to the movement of the plunger upward direction, it increases the pressure of the diesel fuel inside the barrel. Agree? Right? When the plunger is moving upward direction, both the ports are covered and the fuel gets compressed inside the barrel. And high pressure is developed. What will happen once the high pressure is developed? It lifts the delivery valve from its seat. This is the seat, right? It lifts the delivery valve from its seat, so that what will happen? The diesel fuel under high pressure is supplied to the atomizer. Okay, right. Now further movement of the plunger. Now the question is, at up to what extent the diesel fuel will be supplied, means the time for which the fuel will be supplied, right? What for that further movement of the plunger upward direction, what will happen? This helical groove present inside the plunger connected to the spill port. Okay, the further movement of the plunger, what will happen? The helical groove connected to the spill port, so through the rectangular vertical groove to the fuel in the upper part of the plunger. Then for what will happen? The pressure will be relieved. So this is nothing but this is some port only. Okay, it is closed this end, right? Whenever the further movement of the piston, it will connect. So this is the helical groove. This helical groove is connected to the spill port, and this helical groove is in connection with the rectangular port. Okay, so because the plunger is also rotates inside the barrel, it not only reciprocates, it will rotate at the top and bottom positions with help of this rack and pinion. That is the main use of rack and pinion here, right? Whenever the plunger rotates, what will happen? It will connect the spill port through the helical groove via rectangular port to the top of that one. Therefore, what will happen? The pressure will be relieved, and thereby the delivery valve will come back to the original position. Means the fuel supply has stopped. Okay, so what will happen when the fuel supply Again, I'll explain. Further movement of the plunger, what will happen? The helical groove connects the spill port through the rectangular vertical groove to the fuel in the upper part of the plunger. Then what will happen? There is sudden drop of the pressure, because the pressure, there will be connection established from upside to the downside. So therefore, due to that, the pressure drop occurs, due to which the delivery valve will back to its original position under the force of the spring, because whenever the pressure decreases, automatically the spring force exerts the delivery valve to sit back to its original position, and the cycle is repeated. Again, the movement of the plunger upward direction covers, and pressure will be raised, and the fuel will be delivered. And during the working, what will happen? It will rotates. When the plunger rotates, the what will happen? The spill port is connected to the top portion of the plunger via the helical groove and rectangular port. Thereby, the pressure will be relieved, and the delivery valve will come back to the original position. Okay, is this working is clear?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you simple video.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yeah, I'll show you one small video.
Barrel has ports cut on its side. The fuel pump has a plunger and barrel. A rack is fitted to the pump to engage, with a pinion machined on the outside of a sleeve. The sleeve fits over the plunger and rotates the plunger as the rack is moved. The plunger reciprocates.
Did you observe the plunger is rotating inside the barrel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Inside the barrel to pressurize the fuel. The plunger has an helical groove cut on its side. The barrel has ports cut on its side. Fuel enters the pump from the supply system through the inlet connection and floods the fuel chamber surrounding the barrel. When the plunger is at the bottom of its stroke, the fuel flows through the barrel ports, filling the space above the plunger, the vertical slot cut in the plunger, and the cutaway area below the plunger helix. As the plunger moves upward, the barrel ports are covered and compression begins. As the plunger continues to move upward, fuel is discharged through the lifted delivery valve into the high-pressure pipe. Fuel delivery stops when the plunger helix uncovers the spill port. The fuel spills back to the fuel chamber through the ports. The delivery valve returns to its seat and closes. The quantity of fuel delivered is regulated by the vertical length of the helix, where it is in line with the port. The vertical length depends on the plunger position. The plunger position is altered by rotating the plunger. The fuel injection will start at the same time for all plunger position. The time at which the injection stops will depend on the plunger position. The plunger position is controlled by the fuel rack. The fuel rack of the pump is connected through linkages to the main fuel lever and the governor. The fuel injected into the cylinder is controlled.
Clear, na?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the
Sir.
story about. Yeah, please.
Sir, after increasing the pressure, where is the fuel going? Into the spill port.
After increasing the pressure, the delivery valve will be opened. Somewhere sound is coming. 1 second. Let me stop. It started. Okay. So once the pressure rises, what will happen? This delivery valve will be lifted, and from here, the fuel will be supplied to the fuel injector. From here, directly the fuel will not go to the engine cylinder. This is the only pump to supply the high pressure fuel. This is connected. Sorry, this is connected to your fuel injector.
Okay, sir.
This is
So
connected
there
to.
is some fuel. There is some fuel left in the grooves also.
Yeah, there is some fuel left in the groove. Again, that will back to the your fuel sump. Again, it will be back to the fuel sump. Here, sump will be there to the sump.
Yes.
Okay. Right. I'll show you now one image. It is available. Cut sections. Here, can you see here this part?
Yes, sir.
This is your injector.
Okay, sir.
From there it will supply to here. It is a cut section of injector. From here you can see one opening over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, through this is the actual fuel injector actually, right?
Okay.
And what we discussed is fuel pump. From the fuel pump, the high pressure fuel will be supplied at this point, and with this injector, the fuel will be injected into the engine cylinder. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, this is our college, sir.
Yeah, it is there in our college. This is a injector. Now we are going to discuss. Okay. And this is the fuel pump will be at the back. You can operate the fuel pump by operating this. Okay, we will see in the lab. Anyhow, we are coming to the college next week. We will see.
Next week, sir. College is opening.
Yeah, from first, maybe guidelines should come. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Right. Where we are. Right. Fuel pump is over. Now, this is a story about that. Now, fuel injector. Just now I shown you, right? Some cut section. Just now I shown you that is the fuel injector in that 2D diagrams. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. It consists of nozzle and nozzle body, nozzle wall. Okay. Means the nozzle is sitting inside the nozzle body, and you can see cap nut. This is the spindle. This is the spring. Wherever valves are there, the valves are sitting in its position with help of spring force only, because the opening is taken care by the cam, but closing of valves will be taken care by the spring. Remember, so cams are used to open the valve, but how the valve is getting to closed, right? So the valve is coming back to its position with help of the spring force. Okay, and this is the spring and spring cap nut, and this is the adjusting screw to adjust the tension of the spring, and this is the feeling pin. And you can see this is a fuel pump. You can see right now, whatever the fuel coming from the fuel pump, it will be supplied from the passage B. It is supplied from the passage B. Okay. And it will go to here right now. And passage A is the return fuel will go back to the again fuel pump only. Okay. We will see the working. It consists of the nozzle valve fitted in the nozzle body. NV is the nozzle valve, and it is fitted in the nozzle valve. Means nozzle body is nothing but seat, the seat for the nozzle. Okay, so the nozzle valve is fitted in the nozzle body, and the nozzle valve is held in its seat by a spring S, which exerts pressure through spindle E. So the nozzle is held in its position with help of spring, and with help of the spring through the spindle E. Okay, this spring is exerting the pressure over the spindle, and this spindle in turn is connected to the nozzle. Means here the main story is depends upon the nozzle. Okay, right. Means whatever the fuel supplied, now you can see, you can understand clearly. If you compress this spring, what will happen? Tell me. You can see at the bottom some drops, right? If you are whatever the fuel coming from the fuel pump, if the pressure is in a position to compress the spring, automatically the fuel will be injected. Agree? The fuel
Yes,
will
sir.
be injected. Means our main aim is to compress the spring. If the spring is compressed, automatically the nozzle valve will be come out of its nozzle body. Thereby there is a opening for the diesel fuel to inject inside the engine cylinder. That is the main working actually, right? So the fuel coming from the fuel pump should compress the spring. Automatically the nozzle will lifted the nozzle valve, thereby it will work. Spindle. AS is the adjusting screw by which nozzle valve lift can be adjusted. That's what. Now by using this AS is the adjusting screw, we can adjust the tension of the spring. Thereby we are adjusting the lift of the nozzle body. Usually the nozzle valve is set up to 135 to 175 bar. See, 135 to 175 bar, the pressure coming out of the fuel pump should be up between 135 to 175. Then only the nozzle valve will be lifted from its seat. Okay, and F is the feeling fin, which indicates the whether valve is working properly or not. Okay, right. So now the fuel under the pressure from the fuel pump enters the injector through the passage B and C. Through the passage B and C. So this is B, and from the B it will go to the C. So the fuel from the fuel pump will enter into this one through the B and C and lifts the nozzle valve. The fuel travels down the nozzle N and injected into the engine cylinder in the form of fine spray. Then the pressure of the oil fails. Whenever the pressure of the oil, when the pressure of the oil fails, when the spill port is connected to the top portion of the plunger with help of the helical groove, then automatically pressure falls and the delivery valve of the fuel pump will come back to the position. Then at that time we don't get any fuel in the fuel injector. Then the nozzle valve occupies its seat under the spring force and fuel supply is cut off. Any leakage of the fuel accumulated above the valve seat is led to the fuel tank through the passage A, right? So you can see here passage A, if any oil leaks through the spindle, that will come back to from A, and from A we can give to the fuel pump. And the leakage occurs when the nozzle valve is worn out. Whenever the nozzle valve is worn out, what will happen? If the pressure is less, also some amount of diesel will be leaked. This is the working of your fuel injector. Very simple. So whatever the diesel fuel coming out the fuel pump, it should pass through B and C. Then it should compress the spring. Once the spring is compressed, the spindle will be lifted. Automatically the nozzle intern is connected. This is also lifted upward direction. Therefore the fuel will be injected in the engine cylinder. Any doubt in working of this one? Students?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. Right, petrol injection. Right now, because nowadays we are not using carburetors. Right, carburetor is a old story. Right, nowadays, because according to the BS norms. What is BS norms? What is the abbreviation for BS? BS4, BS6, BS2, BS3, BS4. What is mean of BS? Anyone?
Anti-brake system, sir.
Bharat stage.
Hey, I am not asking about ABS. BS4, BS6. So
Bharat stage.
Very good. BS means Bharat stage. Right. So why, if you observe, some of the models are stopping after some time. Right now, if you see Maruti 800, right, old Alto, LXi, just for example, right? So though they are good vehicles, right? So because every person, as I know, they should start from Maruti. Okay, right. So here, though they are good in the market, but they stopped after some years. Why? Because the Bharat stage of this one may be either BS2 or BS3. When they change the norms, Bharat stage norms, right? So these norms are changed by the Pollution Control Board and central government, right? So based on the pollution standards. Okay. So whenever they are changing the stage from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3 and stage 4, now they skipped 5 and they directly enter into the stage 6, right? So means the emissions emitted by the engines are decreasing, right now. So in order to do that, they should refine the engine. In order to decrease the pollution, they should refine the engines. Therefore, what will happen? The cost of the engine will increase. Yes, sir. That's why BS6 engines are costly. Even Maruti is stopped, right? Diesel engines because of this BS6 only, because BS6 engines should give less pollution according to the norms, right? In order to do that, they should refine the engine. They should change the engine they should modify the engine, right? They should add some components. For that, it will become costly affair. That's why they stopped diesel engine. Maybe they are in a plan to release, but we don't know when they come. That's the reason Maruti stopped the diesel engine, BS4 to BS6. And petrol is up, that is now where we are, right? Petrol injection. petrol is supplied to the intake manifold through the petrol injectors. Even now carburetor is replaced by injectors here also. This process is called petrol injection. In this system, petrol is received by the injector from the pump and is sprayed into the airstream in the atomized form. Because the fuel coming out of the carburetor should be atomized and vaporized, right now. So if you don't use carburetor, then how to atomize the fuel? Because we are injecting the petrol in the passage of air, thereby airstream, thereby it will be atomized. The advantage is high power, quick starting and warm up, and low SFC, specific fuel consumption. Means low specific fuel consumption means high kilometer per liter, more kilometers per liter, right? Now, so why you are calling it as quick starting, right, and warm up? Because let us say carburetor, if you use, the main disadvantage is if you don't use the vehicle for a long time, right? So the carburetor, it will because of viscosity, it will settle at the bottom. Means it will create some layer, some thick layer at the bottom. It will block the passages of the petrol air fuel mixture, right? So that is a main drawback of the carburetor. Okay, so that is replaced by MPFI system, multi-point fuel injection system. You can see nowadays all petrol engines are MPFI, but if you see petrol engine for Maruti, you will write VT. For Hyundai, they write VT. Have you gone through this terminology? VVT is written for petrol engines of Maruti. VT is written for Hyundai. Hyundai vehicles petrol engines are VT technology. Okay, like the different names will be written, but inside that
Sir,
will
what
be
is the difference, sir? VVT and VTVT.
nothing will be there. That is the manufacturer. That's it. He is the Maruti. He is the means
sir.
the valve timing will be varied. VVT means variable valve timing. Variable valve means, let us say in Holden engines, what will happen? The valve timing cannot be changed. How to change the valve timing? If you want to change, you should change the design of the cam. Agree? Right, but now in new days, in order to change the valve timing, so there will be one unit, ECU.
Okay, sir.
Engine control unit. It will take care of the valves, everything.
Okay.
That it is nothing but heart of the engine, ECU, because it is operated electronically. This is ECU, right? Electronic control unit.
All sensors also, no, sir?
Yes, all pressure sensor,
Yes, sir.
airflow sensor, right? Temperature sensor, everything will be there. Temperature,
Air mass
right?
sensor.
Yes, air mass. That's what very important. It will be operated with help of sensors only. Now, in olden days, engine means it is completely mechanical one, but now it is coupled with electronics. Okay, all sensors. Even if you see some of the vehicles, tire pressure is also indicated in the dashboard. If the tire pressure is more or less, also it will give warning.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no, right? So that's what nowadays everything is with sensor. If you don't close the door, also it will give sensor. If the door is partially closed, also it will give sensor. If you are going high speed, also it will give sensor. All are sensors only. Okay, right. Now multi-point fuel, because to increase the safety, these are the things they incorporated, right? And multi-point fuel injection. Now you can see here, this is the air passage. Okay, and through the air filter, the air is entering, and now you can see computer, right? Two computer is there, that is ECU.
Yes, sir.
ECU, right? Now this when the fuel needs to be admitted, because the air is going, and this is the inlet valve of one cylinder, this is inlet valve of other cylinder, right? Now, so these are all inlet valves are shown, right? Now this is the black color one is the air stream, and the fuel is supplied to the fuel injectors, and when to inject the fuel, that will be taken care by the ECU. Now when to inject the fuel is to be taken care by the ECU. Means, so what will be there below? Now in below we have piston, everything will be there. Here we have piston. Here we have piston. These are the cylinders, yes or no? Right, here
Yes.
I have one piston, right? Now as we know, in case of petrol engine, during the suction stroke, the combination of air and petrol should be admitted. Therefore air is coming, but petrol needs to be injected. Now the green color one is the petrol. Okay, now the air and fuel will be mixed, atomized, and that will be supplied into the engine cylinder. So when to operate the fuel injector, that will be taken care by the ECU again. This is multi-point fuel injection system. Means we are injecting the fuel at different positions. Wherever cylinder is there we are injecting the petrol, and the petrol is atomized with the incoming air, and that air fuel mixture will be supplied into the engine cylinder during the suction stroke. Okay.
Sir, in the old vehicles, they don't have injectors, no, sir.
In old vehicles only carburetor.
Yes.
In carburetor. Again, this carburetor we can find only in Maruti 800, that too before 2000 model, I think. Even Maruti 800 is also having MPFI system. That is BS3, I think. At the back side, it will be written MPFI. Anybody observed? At the Maruti vehicles, it will be written Maruti 800s. Means the carburetor is eliminated at the time only. Whenever they are changing the BS standards, right? So they will give some what we call norms. Only CO percentage should be this much, NO percentage should be this much, right? Hydrogen should be this much, this percent, right? That is the reason we will go for pollution control, right? So we will go for pollution control. What he will check? He will check CO and NO emission, NX emissions, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the reason. But nowadays nothing is right, because if you don't on the engine also, they will give the certificate for you. If you don't, if you show the photograph of the vehicle also, you will give the pollution certificate. Okay, that is for only namesake, but nobody is following correctly, right? So here these MPFI systems are two types: port injection and throttle body injection, right? So in port injection, the injector is placed on the side of the intake manifold, right? So the injector is placed on the side of the intake manifold. You can see these are the injectors. So these are the intake manifolds. These injectors are placed side of the intake manifold and sprays the petrol into the air inside the intake manifold. The petrol mixes with the air completely, and this mixture of petrol and air then passes through the intake valve and enter into the engine cylinder. In case of port injection system, what will happen? The injector is placed on the side of the intake manifold and it will be injected. Whereas coming to the throttle body injection is nothing but single point fuel injection system. In this, an injector is placed slightly above the throat of the throttle body, and the injector sprays the petrol into the air intake in the intake manifold, where it mixes with the air, and the mixes is then passes through the throttle valve and enters into the intake manifold. Here you can see only one spray will be there. It will be injected into the air stream, and air fuel will be supplied to the different number of cylinders. This is the throttle body. Only one injector will be there. Whereas in case of port injection, how many number of cylinders are there? That many injectors are there. Okay. Right, these are the fuel filters, right? So this thing, this MPFI system is not there in the syllabus. Okay, MPFI system is not there in the syllabus, but in Viva they may ask. Okay, because nowadays we are using MPFI. Carburetor is old technology. Okay, so nowadays we are using all MPFI systems. Therefore, you should have the idea what is meant by MPFI, how it will works. Okay, in MPFI system we have port injection and throttle body. In port injection, injector is placed on the side of the intake manifold, whereas in case of throttle body, it is a single point fuel injection system, and injector is placed slightly above the throttle of the body. Is it clear? With this, our injection systems are completed. We left with only problematic part, that is a performance of IC engines.